Hi guys, it's TripleC. Today we'll be looking at a Raspberry Pi game console that I found from the flea market. And it's not just any Raspberry Pi. It uses the Raspberry Pi Compute Module 3. That ought to be interesting. So let's take a look at this. So, you actually have a name. This thing is called CoolBaby. I guess, there isn't too many information that you can find online other than certain online stores with this. So I guess we're not gonna get into that too much because what that really was some group or a company or guy named CoolBaby, and they made this. And they also made the image for RetroPie emulator to work with these buttons. And yeah, so that's that. So let's just take a look at this, what this is. Yeah, so as you can see, this is a 5-inch color LCD. I'm just gonna turn it on. The power switch is right here. It uses a power switch like this. And micro SD, I should say micro USB port for the power input. It's got 4 USB 2 ports. Oh, you can hear that. That's the intro. Anyway, and these 2 buttons are for volume up and down. And that little button in there, that's for it to switch different display outputs. Like right now, it's to the screen. And if I plug into a HDMI, it will switch to the TV. And up here are some shoulder buttons. These shoulder buttons are actually kind of funny. It's one of those kind of buttons. And there's a headphone jack. It works, but it got a lot of noise. And here's for the micro SD card. There are some buttons at the front, 4 buttons here, and 4 buttons here for the arrow key. And here's the joystick. But the joystick is actually the same key as those directional keys. So yeah, it works the same. Here's the battery indicator, but that thing almost always on. I don't know why that is. Something's wrong there, but I don't know what it is. And that's a power LED, and that's the reading LED. Here's the start and select button. So yeah, so that's what that is. And if you see from the back, here's an 8,000 mAh battery put in there from China, which I do have some concerns. So I'm kind of careful with when I charge this device. You know, I'll be present while I'm charging this thing. I can't fully trust this thing. I have no idea where it came from. Yeah, here's the Compute Module 3. The Compute Module 3 uses the DDR2 slot. And I'll just open this thing up. It's 4 screws holding these acrylics on. It's actually easy to take off and on. So it uses the DDR2 slot as far as I read. And then obviously, other than the processor and the RAM, it doesn't have anything else on it. It doesn't have any Bluetooth, doesn't have any Wi-Fi. It wouldn't have any ports. All of that other stuff, it's up to the carrier board that's made for it. As you can see, here's the internals. And there's the Compute Module 3. And the rest of everything, it's on this PCB board, the white PCB board. The speakers, as you can plainly see, and then there's that's the cooling fan. It's on right now. It's a blower style, blowing air to that heatsink there, low heatsink. This cooler is glue on. double sided tape. So is that battery. They're not secure with other things, it just sort of glue on. And then, yeah, that's that. The monitor, the LCD on the other side. You see the ribbon cable there in the back. And it's right underneath where the battery is, connected to the board. Works. Everything, yeah, everything just works. It's not the best, the most comfortable thing to hold or the best control buttons to press on, but yeah, everything just kind of works. And I must say, that's not a bad thing. Okay, so the PCB board is holding place with these screws on both sides, 1, 2. There's 3, 4, and then there's a couple on the top. So the PCB board is nicely secure onto the acrylic casing that they made. Yeah, so this is it. The speakers. So I didn't use the original SD card that came with. It's really just RetroPie with their own modifications, which is fine. But then here I got WolfNet's 128 gig image with a lot of goodies in here. And I must say, this thing runs all of that really well. I will use the controls on this just to show you, but it does have USB. So I do have a Wi-Fi dongle that I use for it, like this. And I do have my other controllers that I use for it, like there. And you can also plug in other things like Bluetooth dongles. And yeah, you can do a lot of things with it. I mean, after all, it's Raspberry Pi. You can easily put a Raspbian and just run an operating system with it too. So yeah, let's run a little something here just to show you. Since we're here, let's do some shoot 'em ups. All right. The side's kind of cut off. You can actually fix that. I mean, it's RetroPie. You can get into the settings and set your own aspect ratios and all that. Actually, in fact, I'm gonna do that just to show you. There we go. So you can get into the settings. I can back. Oh well. What you can do here is, first of all, you can take out the overlay. And then you can go to the settings and you can change the aspect ratio, if you like to whatever that makes the most sense to you. That look good, all right? But it looks kind of odd for this game, that's for sure, but that's okay. The point is, it's really up to you. I'm going to, first let me quit it. I'm going to connect this to the TV so we can have some proper recordings of this. And then show you some more emulations. I think this thing runs really well. So right now I have my wireless controller connected to the Raspberry Pi device with a USB dongle, and it's connected to the HDMI port onto my 4K TV, and I think this is pretty nice. All right, let's play some stuff then. Let's play a few things. It's a bunch of Mega Man. I actually really like this image. I mean, this image with the way he put it. There's the classic Konami games, Data East, Capcom, and I also put it in different consoles category. This is actually really nice. I really like this. So the emulation is really good. Show you some stuff. For example, here we got the PlayStation. The PlayStation runs really well. Surprisingly, Nintendo 64 runs really well. So let's do some of that. Nintendo 64.
Welcome to Mario Kart. Mario Grand Prix. Select your player. Let's go. Select map.
This is not a bad performance. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's try something different.
It all depends on your skill. Go for broke.
Street Fighter runs really smoothly. That's really great. But it'll be much nicer if you're playing with the friends, which you can do with this. All you have to do is get more controller. All you gotta do is get some USB or Bluetooth controller and make use of those USBs. You can turn it into a nice home arcade console, and that's what this is all about. Its portableness is not as good as how you can turn it into a little console and bring it whatever you want. Because all you really need is have it on the full battery, or just get yourself a nice little charger and you're good to go. Bring the device, connect it to your friend's HDMI, bring some controller. It doesn't take a lot of base space. Yeah, I think for this device that I got, I think that's the greatest part of this, that I can do something like this because everybody loves a little bit of retro gaming. Because a lot of those are made for 2 players, 3 players, or 4 players. Those games were made back then to play on the same TV. So obviously, retro games will work a lot better to play in a friend's house or people come to your house than it is modern games, because modern games are more likely to be made to play online or other connectivities. Where back then, games were made to play on the same TV.
Round 1.
So I think this is very interesting because I'm working in the industrial computer sector, and a lot of stuff that we do is a lot like this, where you have a compute module and then you design the carrier board for the compute module for different functions. In this instance, this is for a game console, but what if the compute module is made for other purpose, such as some kind of a IoT devices or some kind of a smart home device or some kind of a entertainment device. It could be anything. But the interesting part is where it's being made into what the author wants it to do. And in this case here, it was well done. Unfortunately, the buttons are not very good onto this PCB, but it's still really cool to have it. With all the USB ports, this works really well. This is fine, and I can still do a lot of projects with this thing. And yeah, it's amazing how it's a flea market find. If I actually bought this thing brand new on, say, Taobao or one of those online shops from China, it will cost twice as the money, and I probably wouldn't go for that. I would just go for perhaps a Raspberry Pi 4 and do some other projects. But this here can do some stuff with it, and yeah, I'm really happy with this. This is a lot of fun. And yeah, I guess that will be all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Take care.